The Jersey Devil, and the Ballad of the Battle of Trenton, written by Martin Bogardas. This is a story of how one creature from the Pine Barrens of New Jersey single-handedly helped George Washington and his Continental Army win the American Revolution. Did I mention that this poem has a tavern wench named Angelia Rawlins in it? Yup, she was quite a babe. Not really central to the story, but I digress. Anyway, on with the story. What did you say? You wanted to check out the buxom tavern babe first, before listening to the story? Okay, fair enough. Happy now? For those of you who are experts on the Battle of Trenton, and the legend of the New Jersey Devil, feel free to skip the next 3 minutes or so, but for the rest of us, allow me to explain. Alright then, let's begin. The Jersey Devil and the Ballad of the Battle of Trenton, written and narrated by Martin Bogardas, is an historic reimagining of George Washington's crossing of the Delaware River in the Battle of Trenton at the beginning of the American Revolution. Though firmly based in factual events surrounding the famous battle, adds one fanciful component: the Jersey Devil of New Jersey Pine Barrens folklore, written in a free verse balladic style following the rhythmic pattern of natural speech. It is meant to be recited aloud, much like a campfire story or tavern tale would be told for entertainment or amusement. The story is narrated by an unnamed Masonic brother, who relates the account of the Battle of Trenton as told to him by his friend, the Jersey Devil, who is also a Freemason. Sightings of the Jersey Devil precede the American Revolution, and go back to the days when the first colonists settled the mid-Atlantic portion of the United States, and still are claimed to happen today. In the story, the Jersey Devil is an aerial reconnaissance scout for General Washington's army, who provides useful intelligence for the Americans by reconnoitering British forces, giving Washington a tactical advantage. He is friends with Major Samuel Nicholas, the first commander of the newly formed Marine Corps and owner of the Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Nicholas is also a Freemason at Lodge No. 2 in Philadelphia, which incidentally also met at his tavern during the American Revolution. After learning that the Hessian garrison at Trenton, New Jersey may be vulnerable to attack, the Jersey Devil flies to Tun Tavern to alert Samuel Nicholas of this important intelligence. Upon learning this significant piece of information, Major Nicholas, a local town crier, and the Jersey Devil assist General Washington as he executes his attack on Trenton. Although Samuel Nicholas Marines do not directly participate in the battle, they do provide vital support, assisting soldiers at McConkey's Ferry, Pennsylvania, onto Durham boats and other watercraft, to ferry the American troops across the Delaware River. The line in the story, "There is a tide in the affairs of men," refers to Shakespeare's play, Julius Caesar, where Brutus, when talking with Cassius, says that the key to successfully winning in life lies in the knowledge that a tide or window of opportunity is only of limited duration, and it is up to a man to understand and seize the affordable opportunity when availed, or lose his chance. Washington and the Jersey Devil also face a similar dilemma, and if do not gamble greatly, when the tides of fortune are in their favor, risk losing everything, including the Revolutionary War.
The Jersey Devil was a Mason, and a darn good friend of mine. All his friends called him JD, or Jersey. Never Devil, to be unkind. Oh, I know you've heard the stories, but I say he's much maligned. I've come to set the record straight. Read on if so inclined. He had inhabited southern New Jersey before the Swedish or the Dutch, living peacefully in the Pinelands, although he didn't like it much that horrid men told monstrous tales of a foul devil born at Leeds since 1735, of a most fiendish flying breed. And while it's true he does have wings and flies with grace and skill, Those other things, he's demon spawned, a devil straight from hell. Why, he's flesh and blood like you or me, an impressive tour de force. Simply the best amalgamation that Mother Nature could endorse. Yes, I know it has been rumored that he ate a gentleman or two, but that was in the War for Independence, and I'm here to tell you true. That GED never caused harm to any village or farm owned by Continental soldiers. But when the Hessians hijacked Jersey's homeland and tract, he didn't act with such composure. It was just outside the Trenton borders, soaring above the vast pine lands, that JD saw the burning smoke from Hessian troops those officers did command. What a plum would it be for Washington and his Continental infantry if they could capture the garrison troops at Trenton and win a vital victory. The Hessian forces at the winter camp numbered 1,500 all, under the command and expert leadership of the Colonel Johann Rahl, and his weary men stared out frosted glass, lured by winter's siren call. Drew droll figures on their window panes as the snow began to fall. So Jersey went to see Sam Nicholas, a brother Mason and staunch friend, the fighting Quaker of the Marine Corps, who led a group of rugged men, affectionately called the Jersey Devil Dog by Major Sam and his Marines. JD always groused when called a hellhound, but in private secretly preeved. Toward Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, flying swiftly, under night's cloak to slip away, to tell the major the garrison was conquest ready on that cold and wintry day. The Hessians had set up their winter encampment, and with Yuletide upon their minds, JD thought the Continentals should come pay a visit, while the Hessians drank and dined. As JD alighted on Sam's tavern, he saw to his mortified chagrin a local town crier lift his musket up to take quick aim at him. But two claws did then JD hold high, shouting the grand hailing sign of distress, and showed to him the Masonic medallion that proudly adorned his scaly chest. Quickly learning the man was also his brother Mason, JD spoke with language plain that they had no intention of harming the crier, nor see any townsfolk hurt or slain. He had come to report his reconnoitering to Major Samuel Nicholas, who was a fellow Master Mason, would gladly vouch for and attest. After exchanging brotherly greetings, the three men, forced by circumstance, spoke of the dire need for a Christmas crossing at the icy river's cold expanse. For it was almost Christmas morning, and with little time to make more plans, knew there was a tide in the affairs of men when took fortune favors and demands. 2,400 militiamen at McConkey's Ferry port of call stood shivering in the freezing rain amid sporadic snowstorm squalls. They had a rough and rugged road ahead, with many perils yet to face, and prayed for the great architect's deliverance to be their saving grace. Samuel Nicholas then gave the order to his rough and rugged Marines to assist the Continentals in this desperate harebrained scheme. And though the Marines would not take part in this battle, perform their thankless tasks so well that not a single American drowned embarking when the waves began to swell. As the militiamen crossed the ice-choked river, even the stoutest held their breath, remembering those words from General Washington of victory or death. For the soldiers' military enlistments were soon expiring at the closing of the year, and without a victory to encourage new recruitment, would put an end to British fears. High above the frozen waterway, Jersey searched for signs of enemy patrols, as the worrying fatigue from his buffeting winds began to take their toll. But there was no time to rest for the weary. However, J.D. had no regrets, for the storm-filled skies above the clouds hid well his conspicuous silhouette, cunningly encircling north of Trenton to keep the biting winds behind their backs. Washington caught the Hessians still slumbering, unprepared for their attack. Though Prussian and Hessian forces scrambled mightily, blindly firing into the storm, through wind-launched tacks of sleeting sleet, couldn't see the rebel swarm. Pelting showers full of leaden rain and iron hail did fall, with musket balls a-whizzing by, too numerous to recall. The rebels, or the Hessians, which opposing force would seize the day? Then Jersey seized the moment, with the Hessian soldiers held at bay. Like an avenging angel of justice, a bear of death made manifest, Jersey swooped down upon the encampment, a demonic hellhound now possessed. With gleaming teeth as sharp as daggers, and talons outstretched at his command, Jersey ripped and clawed through the Hessian forces, leaving a grisly, severed hand. The Hessian soldiers quickly reassembled with another 7 score, 3 times the prior number that J.D. had fought before. And though his first predisposition had been to turn around and fight, but being severely outnumbered, reconsidered taking flight. Yeah, J.D. was in a bind with 100 muskets pointing grim, and Hessian soldiers to his left and right were quickly closing in. A British 6-pounder in the distance hounded an aggressive sound obscene, and as the cannon roared, he hit the floor, dodging bullets in between. Too late, an infantry column charged Jersey, fixed with only bayonets, had made ready, aimed, and fired once, but their powder cold and wet created a window of opportunity. So with leathery wings unfurled, he took off like a shot through the fierce onslaught, and up to the sky he whirled. Up into the sky, reaching the cloud-shrouded canopy, riding the gale-force wind-swept currents, as would a master sailor sail the sea. J.D. surveyed the Hessian encampment for his fallen friends among the slain, for any signs of their missing whereabouts through the sleeting, frozen rain. But much to his astonishment at what next beheld his eyes, the Americans had corralled the Hessian soldiers, had 2/3 the camp confined. Nathaniel Greene had come firing from the north, John Sullivan from the south, meeting the astonished Hessians in the middle, who surrendered beyond a doubt. Discussion of General Washington's great victory spread like wildfire across the land, bolstering rebel-needed reinforcements to make the British understand that until King George declared America to be a free and separate nation, would these rebels fight for freedom's right without the slightest hesitation. Yes, J.D. had fought for liberty's cause in the American Revolution, and not for naught had Masons thought him worthy of inclusion. That although not born of humankind nor conceived by Adam's race, he was a man free-born of good report, heart full of Mason's grace. As for the Hessian soldiers at the Battle of Trenton, and the Jersey Devil of Pineland's lore, the Hessians had learned a valuable lesson, and the moral learned, therefore, is that a creature free-born from the Pinelands can prove quite the adversary. And if the Hessians had learned one thing, it's that you don't mess around with Jersey. So don't go judging by appearances. What matters most is what's inside. And don't go listening to the rumor mill. Meet a man first, then decide that help oft-time comes from the strangest of places, and true friends are hard to find, and even a creature from New Jersey may play a part in God's design. So let's raise a glass to Brother Jersey, the first and best of his kind, a gentleman and a Freemason, and a darn good friend of mine.